It's gonna be ugly today. I'm just like, let's go. All right, I fell asleep. So, huh? Yeah, after we went home and ate, I fell asleep. So. All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. I'm just making sure the cat's chilling. She needs a warmth. Alright. قال الإمام البخاري رحمه الله تعالى. So this is hadith number 248. حدثنا إسحاق ابن علاء قال حدثنا عمرو ابن الحارث قال حدثني get you out the way. حدثني عبد الله ابن سالم الأشعري عن محمد وهو ابن الوليد الزبيدي عن ابن جابر ويحيى بن جابر عن عبد الرحمن بن جبير ابن نفير حدثوا أن أباه, who's his father? جبير ابن نفير حدثه أن أباه حدثه أنه سمع معاوية رضي الله عنه يقول سمعت من النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كلاما. So here Muawiyah, he said that I heard from the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم some speech نفعني الله به, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me benefit through the speech. Now, obviously all the speech of the Prophet is going to be beneficial, but he's talking about for specific situations that he was doing. Alright, because I mean everything that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, everything is beneficial speech. From the Quran and the Sunnah, everything. But what he's talking about here, nafa'ani Allahu bi, are the situations that he was facing, like his like specific situations. So he said, يقول أو قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول, he said, I heard the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم say, إنك إذا اتبعت الريبة في الناس أفسدتهم. He said, إنك, so if you were to follow up الريبة, what is a riba?
Sure, doubtful matters.
Well, here, I mean, riba is a doubt. It's doubt. But here, it's not what it means, doubt. It means you have suspicion for people. You have some type of suspicion with them and doubt with them. And it causes you to, like, spy on them and watch them and see, you know, if your suspicions are correct or not. Not like spy for the government, but spy on them in a way that you're, like, trying to find them in this, in bad actions. You know what I'm saying? So you, like, maybe you doubt that the person, oh, I think this guy is drinking. So you go, or you think that maybe he's smoking drugs or something. So you follow him, you know, you go and you try to find out where he's hanging out and what he's doing, trying to catch him in the act, you know, because of the suspicion. So this is what it's talking about. Either tabata riba. What does it say in the English translation? Just out of curiosity.
If you delve into suspicions about people, you will corrupt them.
Okay, that's good. That's a nice translation.
What's delve?
Delve is to dive into, like, to get deep into matters. All right. So he said, "Either tabata ribata fil nas afsadtahum." So if you do this and you follow up, then you know you're liable to find things that what? You're gonna find something. I mean, we all got some mistakes, right? So you're gonna find, you know, generally if you keep searching for something, you're gonna find what you're searching for, right? Afsadtahum. Then you end up corrupting the person, you know. Especially if you know the person knows you're doing this, and then if the person keeps constantly get blamed for something or has a suspicion for something, it's like the kids, right? You know, the parents, they think they have the suspicion against the kids, and they keep saying you're doing this, but the kid's not doing it. And the kid's like, you know what? Forget this. Actually, if I'm gonna keep getting blamed for it, I might as well just what? Might as well be doing it. You know, this happens a lot. You know, and I'm pretty sure the brothers with a very protective wife can probably attest to this problem, because the woman's always suspicious. Oh, what are you doing? You're trying to get another wife. You're trying to do this. Well, if you're gonna keep saying this all the time, I might as well just go ahead and just do it, right? I mean, it's like if I'm sit here and take the brunt of all the problems for it, you're too early in the game to be talking like that. I would calm down. Calm down. You know, you're trying to protect what you got right now. Protect it. Relax. Be relaxed. Huh? You about to not. You keep going. You might not even get you might not even get the wahid al ma malakat yaminuk. So you better watch out. So just relax. Calm down. All right. So, and this is the reality. Like, if you keep following up on the suspicions of the people, then eventually you end up corrupting them. You end up corrupting them. You cause, you might be the cause of them falling into the stuff, that they're trying, that they're not even involved in, or maybe they were involved in at the time, but then they tried to get away from it. Sorry, that's what's saying. فإني لا أتبع الريبة فيه فأفسدهم. So he said, and I don't follow my suspicions and doubts in the people, so I don't corrupt them. All right, so like I said, this is advice that he heard, this is a speech that he heard from the Prophet ﷺ that he benefited from with the situations that he had to deal with. Because obviously he ended up becoming a person in authority. And, he became, the head of all the Muslims, right? So, and being in that type of position, it's hard not to, follow up on your suspicions with people, and it's hard to be just, and that's why we talked about the 7 people that get shade on the Day of Judgment. We talked about these 7, right? You actually remember who they are? Huh? No, that's it. He already messed up.
No, by order. That's coming up in the daily hadith book.
The first person was a just ruler.
Just ruler.
A just ruler, because that's the hardest thing to be. Because you have suspicions, and you don't just have, like us, we might have suspicions, right? Oh, what are we going to do? Sit outside somebody's house and watch them? I mean, come on, dude. We're like, what I'm saying? It's like you got family to feed, you got bills to pay, you got, some of you got school at Clovis West, and, you got jobs, you got things you got to do. You can't be just sitting there, like, bugging people's houses and watching where they're going all throughout the night, But if you have that type of authority, you can do that. You don't have to do it. You send other people to do it for you, So for him to be just in that type of scenario, and that's why he said, فَإِنِّي لَا أَتَّبِعُ الرِّبَى. And he said, and I don't do this. I don't follow up on the suspicions I have of the people. فَأُفْسِدَهُم. So I don't cause any type of corruption amongst the people. All right. So, and this is from a tatabu, and a tatabu al-awrat, And what did the Prophet ﷺ say about that? He said in that hadith, he said, يا معشر من أسلم يعني أسلم بلسانه ولما يدخل الإيمان في قلبه لا تؤذي المسلمين ولا تتبع عوراتهم ومن تتبع عورات أخيه تتبع الله عورته. If he's going and following and trying to find his brother in mistakes and trying to find the mistakes of his brother, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will follow his mistakes. But the difference between this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will cover his mistakes. But the person who's following his brother's mistakes, what will he do to him? He'll expose him even if it's in the middle of his house. He will expose him. And when he says by the middle of his house, it means what?
You mean like someone watching through the window or something?
No, what it means is because this is the one place where you're least likely to be exposed. In your own house, where you can cover everything up and block everything where nobody, how is they going to see? If you got a gate, a wall, and on top of that, you're in the middle of your house, how are people going to know what you're doing in the middle of your house? But here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will expose the person even what? If he's in the middle of his house for going and following up on the faults of his brother and trying to expose those faults. So no, we stay away from that. We stay away from that for protection from our own self, for our own selves, from our own selves. So yeah, so Allahumma musta'an, because that's a suspicion from shaitan. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Qad ayasa shaytanan ya'buduhu al-musallun fi jazirat al-Arab." He said that the shaitan has what? Ayasa. Ayasa, which means what?
Scared.
Yeah, he's become hopeless. For the musallun, for the people that pray in the Jazirat al-Arab, that they worship shaitan, that they follow him, that they'll disobey Allah and that they follow shaitan. Because this is after the Prophet ﷺ came and Tawheed was established in that area. So khalas, shaitan ayasa. وَلَكِنْ بِتَحْرِيشِ بَيْنَكُمْ. But what does he say after that?
Cause problems between you and
he causes discord between the people. He said he knows that he's not going to get the Muslims to just bow down and worship him and follow him and obey him. But what he does is he causes discord between the people. He causes suspicion. He causes doubt. He causes the people to start bickering and fighting, and then what you have is you have this tafarruq, you have the separation, you have community splitting in half, and then Shaitan sitting back, chilling, laughing about the whole thing. He did his job, right, in his eyes. So Allah musta'an. But this is what we see. The biggest problem amongst the people is this type of suspicion. Because again, sadly enough, the majority of the Muslims today, they're Muslims, but they hate the Muslims. They hate the Muslims. They hate Islam. And what's the sign that the people hate Islam? When you tell them that this is a sunnah, are they like so happy to get up and jump up and follow it?
This again.
This again. Oh, they just sit here and make an excuse of why they don't do it, why they're not going to do it, why they don't have to do it. Because they don't care. They don't love Islam. So if they don't love Islam, you think that they're going to love Muslims? No, it's just whatever purpose, and Allah is the judge of these individuals of why they come into Islam in the first place. But Allah musta'an. But they bring that hatred with them. They bring that hatred, and they bring that suspicion. They bring all that, and then they bring the discord. But if we're all following the sunnah and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, these issues are not going to happen. We're not going to give Shaitan a door to open. That door of fitna, the door of discord. It always comes through these weak. The weak Muslims. Look at all the people that cause all these problems throughout the history of Islam. They're hypocrites. So the munafiqun. And that's what they do. They sit back and they just look for that proper opportunity just to cause that problem. And they try to exploit any problems between people. They don't try to to do any type of islah between the people.
Question. So when these munafiqeen, or these people with hatred in their heart towards Muslims, if they say a lie that's a buhtan against someone, saying like he steals money or he beats up his mom or things like this, how should
It's becoming a personal issue.
How should we react as Muslims?
Once you've established the person as a liar, you don't take anything from him. He's done. If you know who he is, obviously. If you don't even know who he is in the first place, you don't take anything from him. The person can't even establish his identity, and he's coming around making all these accusations, and he can't even establish who he is. And those types of akhbar are rejected anyways. We don't accept, information from some dude that just calls us up on the phone and says, hey man, I heard Fulan is doing this. Who are you? Who are you? Where did you get this information from? How would you come to know this information? Oh, trust me, I know. I don't trust you. I don't know you. You understand? So it's like, but the problem is because people have hatred. They have jealousy in their hearts for individuals. So when a person comes with this information against somebody he doesn't like, he wants it to be true. He wants to have a reason now that I can justify my hating this person. So he will accept anything, whether even if he knows that information is probably not even true, he'll accept it because of what? Hatred. Because of the hatred that he already has, the jealousy or whatever sickness he has in his heart for that brother. He wants to justify it. And now when you call up and say, well, I heard he did this. Well, I heard he's doing this. And now you've given him a reason. Now he's got a foundation of why so he doesn't care if the information is true or not. But from our deen as a tathabbu, we don't accept information from some random person just coming up and saying, hey man, I heard, he did this and this. So you go and say, okay, who are you and how did you get this information? Well, trust me, I'm a person you should trust. I don't even know who you are. You're a random dude that called up on a number that I don't know. How do I know that you're telling the truth? So that information is rejected. It's rejected. You go back, and if you really want to ask the person, hey, somebody called me up and said this about you, tell them in private. Don't go out in front of the public and say, hey, somebody called me up and said this about this brother. Is this true? No, you do this in private. And then, you handle it like that, and if the person's established that he's a liar, khalas, it's over. So, I don't accept any type of thing from this person. And once he's established that he's a liar, what?
Ignore
him. Nothing is accepted from him anyway. So Allah Musa, he's considered a fasiq, so khalas.
Especially if there's even proof that you are a liar. That even makes the evidence stronger against you.
Calm down.
I'm about to go off.
All right. Hadith number 249. حدثنا محمد بن عبيد الله قال حدثنا حاتم مجهول. حاتم مجهول. And there's some issue also with the next guy, Muawiyah ibn Abi Muzarrid. But I can't remember. I didn't get a chance to look him up, so I didn't. Alright, so, but for Hatim Mujhul. عن أبيه قال, so this hadith is ضعيف. Alright, قال عن أبيه قال سمعت أبا هريرة رضي الله عنه يقول سمع أذناي هاتان. So Abu Hurairah رضي الله عنه said, my two ears, these two ears, they heard. وبصر عيناي هاتان, and my two eyes they saw. رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أخذ بيديه جميعا بكفي الحسن. So he said that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم took with his two hands, he took the two hands of Al-Hasan, أو Al-Hussein, he said one of the two, رضي الله عنهما. وقدميه, and he took his feet. على قدم, he had his feet on the feet of the messenger. He's playing with him, like, you know, he had his hands in his hands, and the feet of either Al-Hasan or Hussein was on his feet. All right. وَرَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَقُولُ ارْقَعْ. And then the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم tell him, you know, climb, and like, you know, basically climb up. All right. So فَقَالَ فَرَقِيَ الْغُلَامِ, and he said, and he climbed up the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم حتى وضع قدميه على صدر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, until he made it all the way to the chest of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. So, you know, like I said, it just shows that he's, you know, playing around with the kids. He's not just like all the time, just what? Serious, you know. He had mercy with the children, you know.
With the women. With women.
Women, children, old people, everybody that deserved it, they got it. All right. على صدر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ثم قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم افتح فاك. He said, open your mouth. ثم قبله, and then he kissed him. Like I said, this hadith. So I'm not going to act on that one, but yeah.
That's it.
Huh?
That's it.
Answer, come here. I'm not Joe Biden. All right. Oh, that was wrong. That was wrong.
But.
Huh?
I think he was going to stutter.
He's the one that puts his hands on random kids, but yeah. اللهم استعان. ثم قبله ثم قال اللهم أحبه فإني أحبه. Alright, so he said, oh Allah, love him, for verily I love him. I said the hadith is da'if. There's a shahid for that last part. Allahumma ahibbahu fa'inni ahibbahu. As far as that part of the hadith, there's a shahid for that. But the rest of it, I mean the other part of it, we know from the action of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like who was it? Which one was it? Hassan or Hussein? The one that climbed up on the back of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he was praying. Look at it.
More than likely, more inclined.
But he stayed in sujood for a very long time. And the people were asking, like, you know, why he stayed in the sujood, and he said because the boy got on, you know, he climbed up on my back, and he was playing around, and I didn't want to mess up, you know. I didn't want to stop his,
What should I search?
Just type in, type in Hassan, you know, I don't know, Jalas ala Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam salat or something like that. You know, it'll fix it. It's a hadith, it's mashhur, so Google should fix it even if it's in Arabic. Oh, tonight's a bad night. What do we have for lunch?
حتى الأزهار ما كان جاي. ما كان
Huh?
جاي. حتى الأزهار ما كان جاي.
Yeah, but it's too much. It was too much. You find it.
I searched up what you told me. I was trying to find
Say
out.
Raqiya.
Jalasa.
No, say Raqiya. Al Sa'ada. Because he climbed up on his back. He didn't like just jealous of it. I was just saying like maybe Google will climb fix it. But Alright. Come on, man. Never seen a boy to do a man's job.
Did you even find it? Did you even find it?
I think so. Said استقبل والله الحسن بن علي معاوية this is it. I don't want the whole story. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. No, that's not it. It says أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يصلي فإذا سجد وثب الحسن على ظهره وعلى عنقه فيرفع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رفعا رفيقا لئلا يسرع فقال ففعل ذلك غير مرة فلما قضى صلاته قالوا يا رسول الله رأيناك صنعت بالحسن شيئا ما رأيناك صنعته قال إنه ريحانتي من الدنيا وإن ابني هذا سير وعسى الله أن يصلح به بين فئتين من المسلمين. That's not the hadith that I was looking for, but that's in Bukhari. But that shows that, that he used to constantly, like when he was praying, he would get up on his back and his neck, and he would come up slowly, in a slow manner, because he didn't want the boy to fall off. Like he came up like real slow and very soft, So, and that's why they said we saw that you did something that you didn't normally do, So, I mean, we know from the actions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam how he was with the kids and how soft he was and how merciful he was. So yeah. So Allah musta'an. But that's within the confines of the Sunnah, right? Yes. Not being Joe Biden. All right, but that hadith is da'if. All right. We'll take one more hadith, inshallah, from the next chapter. Chapter 125. Bab at-tabassum. All right, at-tabassum, it means what?
To smile.
Yeah, to smile. Taking this one hadith because it's just beautiful, man. All right. This is the hadith that I was looking up and I fell asleep before I found it. So, because I couldn't find the explanation of why he said the Yemen. What does it say in translation?
The whole thing or what?
I'll read it. We'll see, inshallah. All right, so this is hadith number 250. حدثنا علي بن عبد الله. This is Ali ibn Abdullah. Who is he? I'm taking this Ali ibn Abdullah from before. Not you weren't here. All right, I'll give you a hint. He was a big sheikh of Imam Ahmed. Like he had quite a few, but this was like one of his main ones. Ibn al-Madini.
Oh.
Ali ibn Abdullah ibn al-Madini, because he's the Sheikh of Bukhari and also the Sheikh of Imam Ahmed. قال حدثنا سفيان ابن عيينة عن إسماعيل ابن أبي خالد عن قيس is ابن أبي حاتم مخضرم. Alright, he's ثقة مخضرم. What do we say مخضرم means?
Alive, or was Muslim during the time of the Prophet. They were alive, but they never saw him.
Well, Qais ibn Abi Hatim made hijrah to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam died while he was in the path trying to get to him. So by the time that he made it to Medina, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had died. But he was on his way making hijrah to Medina to be with the Prophet, and the Prophet died while he was in the path. SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. Could you imagine how heartbroken you would be to get there and find, even just to see him just once, and then you get there and then you find out he's already been buried, he died while you were in the path trying to get there. Oh my God, man, I'd be so heartbroken out. But SubhanAllah, but alhamdulillah.
But he still have the reward, obviously. He
That is intentions. Yeah. He was making hijrah to be with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alright, so he said, قال سمعت جريرا رضي الله عنه يقول ما رآني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم منذ أسلمت إلا تبسم في وجهي. So here Jarir says that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never saw me since I became Muslim, since I accepted Islam. إلا تبسم في وجهي, except that he smiled in my face. Every time that he saw him, if he opened the door, every time he came through and he saw Jarir, he would smile. Alright, and this is the way, again, that you see that the Prophet ﷺ was with his companions. Alright, not with the people that fought against the deen, not with the people that, caused, all the things that they caused, fitna and fasad, but with his companions, you see, every time that he saw them, he smiled. Alright, he said, وَقَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَدْخُلُ مِنْ هَذَا الْبَابِ رَجُلٌ مِنْ خَيْرِ ذِي يَمَنٍ. He said, a person will enter from this door, a man will enter from this door, min khayri the Yemen. What is that? What did they say?
Enter by this door and his face has an angelic touch.
No, but that's, they say, ala wajhi mas'atu malik. That's the angelic touch part, the mas'atu malik. I could not find out what is khayri the Yemen. Alright, so
It says a man from among the best people of Yemen.
That's what I thought, but I couldn't find the explanation of it. That's what I assumed from the narration of the hadith. That's what it meant, from the best people of Yemen. But because it says Yemenin, it didn't say Al-Yemen. And then when I was looking for like the explanation of it, I couldn't find it. Because this hadith is also, the origin of the hadith is in Bukhari, but not this specific.
It's talking about Yemen, right?
Yeah.
It's spelled like Yemen.
Yeah. Well, that's how it's said in Arabic language. It's Yemen. It's not Yemen. Yemen. Like how they write it in English, Y-E-M-E, it's Yemen. Y-A-M-A. It's Yemeni. Yemeni. No, you want to say that, you said Yemeni. Like the milk. اختار دائما الأصلي اختار دائما اليماني. Only people, the old school Yemenis would get that. It's a commercial for like this cheap milk in Yemen. I think that's how it goes. اختار دائما الأصلي. Choose all the time the original. اختار اليماني اختار دائما اليماني.
It's goat's milk?
Huh?
It's goat's milk?
No, man, it's powdered milk. It's the garbage. If you drink that stuff every day, you'll get cancer. Like during the Iraqi war, this is what I heard. Now, I'm not saying that this is true. I'm just saying what I heard. But I heard it from more than one person. And, during the Gulf War, well, this is true. All right, so let me tell you the true part. Ali Abdullah Saleh, he sided with Saddam Hussein. All right, and this is what caused the rift between Yemen and Saudi Arabia, because Saudi was, America was fighting against, Iraq, and then, Saudi was allowing them to use the northern part, the border. They weren't allowing them to start it. Like, these Khawarij are like saying, oh, you allowed the American soldiers into the holy... No, they put them on the border of Iraq to guard the border. That's it. And the majority of the soldiers, they stayed in Bahrain. So, again, people don't know what they're talking about. But the point is that Ali Abdullah Saleh, he sided with Saddam. So this caused the Saudis, they ended up kicking all the Yemenis out. They made them sell all of their... Like, at that time... From the 1950s all the way up until that time, there was an agreement between the Yemeni government and the Saudi government that the Yemenis, they don't need a visa, that they can go into Saudi Arabia with their passport, because it was considered like almost one country. So the Yemenis, they could own shops, they could own houses, they didn't need a Saudi partner and all this stuff until Ali Abdullah Saleh decided with Saddam. So this is all true now, this is real. So they kicked all the Yemenis out. They made them all sell all their businesses within like a month. So you got 1 month, sell it and get out. So they ended up having to sell it for like real cheap. And all is like started this mass migration of the Yemenis back to Yemen. Then they had to come back into Saudi with a visa as workers in their own shops that they had before. All right, that's true. That is 100% factual. All right. Now, the thing that might not be factual, and it might be, is that Ali Abdullah Saleh, in support of Saddam, he sent him Zabadi, which is the yogurt, from this company, Al-Yamani, which is sent it to Saddam to help them to feed them because they're poor and they're starving. They had a blockade on them, so they wanted to get some food to them. So Saddam had it tested, because he's not stupid. He wasn't stupid. He wasn't a stupid man. He was very, you know, yeah.
لا بعث بعد
Huh?
الموت. قال لا بعث بعد الموت.
Well, I mean, if he made Tobah from that, خلاص, man, but we don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything, but we know what that was in the 1980s. That happened. So anyway, so he had this stuff tested, and he sent it all back to Yemen. And he said, we tested this and we found out that this is not. A human should never ingest this stuff.
Powdered milk.
Huh?
Powdered milk.
It was powder, just chemical, just all chemical yogurt. He said that this is not proper for a human ingestion. He said, thank you very much, but he sent it all back. So if that's true, Allah knows. But I can tell you, like, I would not let them, when they were kids, drink that stuff from those stories, because I kept hearing that over and over and over. So whenever his mother tried to get him al-Yamani, I'm like, man, no. I said, I'll go buy them regular milk, man. Throw the stuff in the garbage. I wouldn't let them drink it. Huh?
Needle.
Needle's even worse, man. Because needle, I think it comes from Switzerland or someplace like this. So needle's even worse. You don't know what they put in that stuff, man, just to kill people's ability to have children. So that's the whole thing. It's about population control. But it's not about population control for them. It's about population control for people they don't like. Yeah. So,
It's another fake milk.
huh?
Another fake milk.
Powdered milk. Yeah, you should know it, right? You know Nido.
Nido?
Come on, man. Aren't you like half Mexican?
Yeah.
Mexicans love Nido, man.
Nido.
Oh, Nito.
Yeah, Nido, Nido. Yeah, like in Jacksonville, if you go to the stores, you cannot find Nido in the stores. You got to order that. You can only find it in the Arab shops or the Indian shops, right? Here, because the Mexicans love it so much, you can go to Food Max and find Nido, man. I don't know where it's from Nestle. So where is Nestle from?
France, I think.
Nestle Crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's European, right? Yeah, you know Nido now, right?
Yeah.
You grew up on this stuff, didn't you?
Not really.
I think that's probably what they mix in every day.
Well,
Yeah.
I recognize the name. Yeah.
Mm. It's poor man's milk, man. Yeah, so whenever you want to have tea with milk back in the days, you know, you live out in the mountains in the desert, what are you going to do?
Use Nido.
Yeah, you're going to buy a cow, so you ain't got money for a cow, you better get some Nido. Along with that, poor man's milk. All right, so that's what he said. So he said that a person is going to enter this door from the best people of Yemen, and he's going to have, what did it say? The angelic. Mashatul Malik. And Malik, of course, is an angel. You know, it's like the touch of an angel. You know, it's not the angelic touch. All right. فَدَخَلَ جُرِيرٌ. And Jurir is the one who entered. This hadith is authentic. This hadith is authentic. All right. So the shahid of the hadith is we see that the Prophet ﷺ, every time that he saw him, he would smile with him, smile for him. You know, obviously he wanted good for it. He loved his companions. He loved the people of the deen. You know, so along with that frowny face. What we got? What we got going on? I didn't see my son over there smiling tonight.
Oh, he was smiling. You didn't see him.
I didn't see.
Let me see. Probably the message is gone now. I wonder who it could be from. Yeah. Playful. A bunch of emojis. He's walking again.
Huh?
He said he's walking around again.
في سؤال عن سؤال مستوى.
Okay. Oh no, I'm jamming full. Are we taking Hadith 240?
Dude, I fell asleep. Man, look, I ate lunch. The cat came in, we got this little kitten out from the Masjid, a little small cat. Me and the cat said, hey, you know what, we're being lazy today. We both fell asleep, man. I woke up, I looked at the cat sleeping here, I'm sleeping there. I'm like, man, whoa, we gotta go, we gotta get up. I barely read this hadith, man. You talking about 240.
You took him home?
Huh?
Took the cat home?
Yeah, no, I didn't take him home. Actually,
Flew there.
I have the sister downstairs to thank for this one. Because I was speaking one day and she overheard me. I said, because we had like 5 kittens out here, right? There was like two white ones, a gray one.
Here?
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 cats. But there was like one, it was an all black cat, but he had like, white paws and little white hair right here. I said, I'm taking this one. I'm taking this one. As soon as I grab him, as soon as I feel like he's ready to go, I'm taking him. Once his mother gets, done So she overheard that. And then Suleiman, he was coming in to take the cats, and he caught that one because he was one of the ones that would come to us the easiest, right? So he caught him. And then she had just happened to be here that day, and she told Suleiman, no, that's the cat that the imam wanted. That's the one that the imam wanted. He was going to take them because he takes the cats once they get too much, he takes them out, way out and just lets them out, just to get them out of the masjid. So he was going to do that, and she saw it. So he ended up bringing the cage and dropped it on my porch. And then I called him up. He said, hey, man, the cat's knocking on your door. I said, what are you talking about? You're not at my door. I don't see no man. He said, no, the cat's knocking on your door. So I opened it up, and he's over there in the cage. I said, yeah, man. We had to go through World War III with that cat, though, and get him, like, normal. That cat is a fireball. Too
hyper.
He doesn't sleep, he charges.
Plays all day.
Yeah, that's what I tell him. I said, this cat's getting charged. He's about to go, once he hits 100%, his eyes open, choom, he doesn't, he's gone all day long.
It's called zoomies.
Huh?
It's called zoomies.
And furries and zoomies now, huh?
No, it's actually like zoomies are normal for cats. But like furries, no, that's the weird one.
Alright, well, give some questions. But anyway, so that's what happened. I was going over the hadith, I fell asleep, the cat fell asleep, woke up with the, like that, and then we had to go.
Jawaska says, is it permissible to pray 2 rak'at after wudu or tahiyyat al-masjid if it happens to be during a prohibited time for prayer?
Again?
Well, you answered the tahiyyat al-masjid part, but he added, can you pray wudu?
Answer the question again. Ask the question again.
Is it permissible to pray 2 rak'at after wudu or tahiyyat al-masjid if it happens to be during a prohibited time for prayer?
I mean, if you pray Tahiyyat al-Masjid, yes. And if you're praying the 2 rak'ahs for that specific purpose, because your intention is not to pray in that prohibited period. Your intention is because of Bilal, when he mentioned that he never made wudu except for that he prayed whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote for him to pray, 2 or more. And he didn't mention any specific time. So he didn't say that it was, so he just atlaqa. He just kept it open. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he was asked what was the whole purpose, is because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said he heard what? He could hear the clacking of his sandals in Jannah. And he's like, why is that? He said, I never made wudu except for I prayed whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote for me to pray. But he said that in general, like whenever he made wudu. So, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like I said, he was asking him why he heard his footsteps in Jannah. So, and he didn't disagree with him, and he didn't tell him, well, but you can't do this in the time of the night. So Allah knows best. If it's for that purpose, and the person has the intentions of praying for that purpose. The tahiyyat al-masjid that's wajib. That's wajib. So you either have to pray the tahiyyat al-masjid or something that takes the place of it. Like if you come in and pray the actual salat, then khalas, that takes the place of the tahiyyat al-masjid. But you have to either do that, you can't sit down. Even to the point where the Prophet ﷺ commanded the man in the Jumu'ah. He was standing up on the minbar and told the man, did you pray 2 rak'ahs? He said, stand up and pray 2 rak'ahs. Because the man came in and sat down. So that's wajib. So as far as the praying, those rak'at and the time of nahi, Allah knows best. Inshallah, as long as the person has the intentions for doing it for that purpose.
Yeah. I have the hadith memorized about it. Not fully. فدخل رجل فجلس فقال أصليت قال لا قال قم فصلي ركعتين. That's the hadith. In the second hadith, who was Hatim's father?
Who?
In the second hadith we took, who was Hatim's father?
I told you, actually, I didn't look up none of that stuff, man. The second hadith. Where's that? 249. What are you talking about? He's majhul. I don't know who he is.
Abdul Rahman says, is affiliate marketing permissible?
Huh?
Is affiliate marketing permissible?
I don't even know what that is. Can't answer something I don't know.
Is it permissible for...
You know what it is? You're gonna ask me about the rain from the mountains or the air? What's up?
إذا في مثلا يعني عندك مثلا أسرة مسلمة هم يعني كلهم مثلا دائما يعني مثلا لما تمشي في أي مكان يعني في أي تطبيقات يعني زي الشات مابس وأنت يعني بس تشوف يعني زي ينزلون زي صورة أشياء زي هيك يعني يدعون للشيعة والناس من الحكماء يعني الحكماء حق الشيعة كيف يموتون يعني كيف يعني إيش تفعل؟ يعني هل جاهلهم؟ يعني هل جاهل الشام يعني إيش تفعل؟
عادي.
إذا مثلا أنت عندك يعني أسرة مسلمة يعني أنت عارف أسر يعني عندك ناس في الأسرة يعني مسلمين هم ينزلون يعني زي أشياء يعني يدعون للحكماء حق الشيعة
هم يطرحونه. ها. الأسرة.
يعني
وإيش؟
الأسرة حق
ها.
يعني هم يطرحون يعني زي صورة ذي الشام يعني في أي مكان يعني دعاء للشيعة وذي الشام يعني الحكماء حق الشيعة يعني هل جاهلهم يعني هل تنصحهم أم تجاهلهم إيش؟
على حسب كيف أقول يعني على حسب قبوله. يعني لو أنت استطعت أن تنزع هذه الأشياء نزعها. إذا كان بيسبب الفتنة والمشاكل وكل شيء ننصحه. That's the problem, actually, that people are ignorant, man. People think that just because these people put up a WWE, this theatrical performance, that khalas, oh my God, these guys, they're the ones that are going to bring, victory to the deen and everything. And then these people have no knowledge of the Islam. They don't have no knowledge of the history of Islam. And they don't know the atrocities that these people have done throughout the history. And then they trust them. They think that these people are actually doing, they're ignorant, actually. So you have to advise them and let them know. I mean, if you have the authority to rip it up and rip it down, rip it down. But if you feel like that's not gonna, it's gonna cause a lot of problems, you just gotta advise them. Obviously not gonna put that stuff up in your house.
Is it permissible for a woman to give food, like cooked and uncooked, including snacks or vegetables, to another without her husband's permission?
To another what?
Like to her neighbors, like to her mom.
Females. It's not gonna cause a fitna. If it's gonna cause a fitna in the house, then she needs to inform her husband. He'll get the reward if the husband shouldn't mind if she does that because he bought the food. He brought the food into the house. She cooked the food, she fed the family, and whatever was left over, she gave it to the neighbors without his knowledge. He's going to get the reward for that. So he shouldn't be angry. But I'm just saying, if she fears that he might say, oh no, I wanted that food tomorrow for lunch, for work, and whatever, obviously you avoid fitna. At that point, you want to get his permission.
We took previously, Allahu A'lam, it was a couple months ago, that we're talking about the neighbors. You said the neighbors, it goes back to the urf of the place you're in. Let's say you live in a upstairs apartment. The people downstairs, like the urf, would it be considered, would the people downstairs be considered your neighbors?
Yeah, because they're closest to you, the closest door to you.
What about the people next door?
Yeah, but those are the closest ones, though. People that you live in right there in the same building, like right on top of, they're closer to you than they are.
I feel like the people next door,
Yeah, people next door.
would be closer.
People next door.
Because their door is only like 2 steps away.
Yeah, the door.
People downstairs, you gotta go downstairs.
You gotta go
And
downstairs.
you're still in the same,
No, but you're confined into the same building.
all 4 of you.
You have to leave this building to go out to them.
No.
What are you talking about?
The wall.
There's a wall.
You
between-
said,
Yeah.
wait, explain what you said, because I'm understanding one thing and you might be saying something completely different.
Okay. One building, right, has like six apartments. 3 on top, 3 on the bottom. Let's say you live in the corner, right? The neighbor downstairs, they would be considered your neighbor, right? But with the next door neighbor, they would take precedence.
You talking about the next door neighbor in the same building or another building?
Same building.
See, that's what I thought you were. I thought you were saying in another building. That's why I was saying.
Like a hotel. Like a hotel, they have rooms all in one building. But like
The person that's closest to your door is the closest neighbor. It has the most rights over you. The person that's closest to you. So if you only have enough food to give one person, you give it to the person that's closest to your door.
Your turn.
Even if they're too far.
Huh?
Even if they're too far.
Okay, let's say that you have a Muslim that's like 2 doors, but it's still a Kafir, it's still got rights over you as a neighbor. regardless if I'm being a kafir.
So you
Still
should
your
still
neighbor.
give them food.
Hey, still give them food. I mean, that's you go there dressed like a Muslim, bringing them food.
Yeah.
Probably throw it in the garbage because he doesn't trust you. It's like, man, this Muslim probably put a bomb in this food, you know. But you know, whatever, you know, let them think. But the thing is you know, over time, they'll start to trust you more. You talk to them more, you know, and it starts to, you know, it starts to say, wow, these Muslims, I've never had neighbors like this before, you know. So he's the one that has the right over you, so you have to, you know, if he doesn't give you your rights, then who cares?
So how often would you have to give him food? How often would you have to?
So based on the order.
But the urf in America, no one ever does it.
So then that's what I'm saying. You know, he wants to go home.
So like once a week, twice a week.
Whatever is not gonna like.
Make people
Yeah, if you sitting there like giving him so much food to the point where he's like, dude, just like listen, man, don't knock on my door anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to get to that point because now you know the benefit of what you're trying to do. You know, once every 15 days or something like that, maybe twice a month.
Twice a month.
Yeah, something to space it out. You know, obviously he's not a person that you generally talk to. Somebody that you're close to, you talk to him a lot, and you know maybe you could probably, you know, maybe especially if like for example, he smells some food that you're cooking in the house, right? He's like, man, what type of food is that? And you say, oh, you know, this is Yemeni food. He's like, man, I always wanted to try Yemeni food. You give it to him. And then next thing you know, you're cooking it again. You say, hey, man, I'm cooking some more Yemeni food. You want some, you know, and give it to him. You know, if you know it's something that he likes, inshallah, then he's definitely not gonna reject it, is he? You know?
Hypothetically, right? You have a neighbor, but the neighbor, and you know this is last check. They're in a dating zina relationship, and they're potheads. Obviously, but if you giving them food, wouldn't that show that you have qabul towards their haram?
No, you sitting with them.
You see. But like just giving food to the
So,
guy.
I mean, if the Prophet ﷺ gave meat to his Yehudi neighbor, does that mean that he showed his qabul for their kufr?
No.
Okay, khalas. It's a neighbor. And so he's got rights. So if you're not sitting with him, you're not hanging out with him. Yeah, if you go and giving them food and sitting in their apartment while they're doing that stuff, while, you know, he's sitting there with his girlfriend smoking weed and you're just hanging out trying to say I'm giving him dawah, then yeah, that's kind of stupid, ain't it? Yeah, but I mean, as far as just giving them food and say, here, man, you know.
To be known as a cool religious guy.
But I mean, obviously you wouldn't go over to them and say, hey, man, I cooked some food and we had some leftovers here, take this, you know. You know? And just tell them, like, you know, hey, this is, well, I mean, like I said, you have to have a relationship with a person in America before you can start just bringing them food. You know, you can't just, like, knock on somebody's door and be like, hey, man, I cooked some food. Here you go. You know, the person's going to be like, okay, you know, it's awesome, man. But, I mean, if you have a relationship with the person first, you know.
So is feeding the neighbor, is it only the right of the man of the household? Or is it like the son, the daughter, and everyone else? Or is it only the man of the household that has to feed the neighbor?
The man ain't gonna be feeding. Like the woman can take women the food. Son can take the men the food. The man doesn't have to go over there and do it all the time. Most of the times it's the women doing it. It's not the men.
But who's responsible, like? Or is it like fard kifaya for the whole family?
Who cares? Whoever does it, does it.
So it's fard kifaya for the family. No, I just because I want
I
to
mean,
know.
that's like I said, it's based on the order.
But we live in a bad urf.
Huh?
We live in a bad urf.
Well, who has the relationship with the person and the neighbor? Does the woman have a relationship with the woman, then she should take her the food? Does the man have the relationship with the man, and he grabs the food and takes it to the other man? I mean, however, you know. In America, these customs exist. They just don't exist here.
Non-clothes.
They don't
Clothes,
know.
no one speaks to no one. Even
I don't
though
think
there's
they
big nice
exist.
houses, no one just. It's all quiet.
I mean, in the South and the countryside, these things still exist. People take food to the neighbors. People take food to people when they first move into a neighborhood. You know, there's always a custom to bring food to the person. But not in the cities. The cities, you don't see that stuff so much.
Where you live at? Does anyone talk to anyone?
No.
It's like strange.
We share laws.
See, I don't even know the name of my neighbors.
Yeah.
That means it.
هذا ما يقال إنه دانيال معه مشاكل بالقلب من عظام بسبب العمل الذي كان يعمله يعني قلبه الآن يعني يضخ
He's been
بطيء
complaining about his heart, yeah.
وقال يعني يدعوا له
Huh?
وقال بس يعني يقول كل واحد يدعوا له
Make dua for the brother Daniel. He's experiencing some issues with his heart. Subhanallah.
Right.
Subhanallah. What about Mexicans?
Mexicans?
Common to take food to the neighbors.
I wouldn't say that, but like we're all close with family, like blood related, we're all close to each other.
What about like in Mexico? Forget these
I've never been.
American-born Mexicans.
I've never been.
Because America corrupts everybody that comes here and lives here.
Yeah.
You see, like the Mexicans that come here, they get corrupted. Pakistanis that come to America get corrupted. Arabs that come to America, look at corrupted. All right.
Eats up his family.
He's over here, Clovis West, we are the best, right? Yeah, so it just messes up anybody that stays in this society. It destroys them. You know, so you look at like the Mexicans that come from Mexico, it's like a complete polar opposite from the Mexicans that were born and raised in California or in America.
Definitely.
Like the Mexicans that come from Mexico, they're so cool, man. They're just so, not saying that the Mexicans here aren't cool, but they're cooler. Like the Mexicans that come from Mexico, they're like Yemenis. Actually. They're like Yemen, they're like Bedouins. Like they're just cool, man. You know. But yeah, man. The longer you stay in America, man, it messes you up, it destroys you. So what does that say about Americans? 4, 5, 6 generations in America. You know, the corruption is just like generational, and it's in your DNA. So, Allah understand. We're like really messed up, aren't we, man? Yes. You guys are just getting, you know, you're getting messed up, right? Who, like from your family, who came here first?
I'm 5 generations.
I think it was like my mom she lived in America like occasionally like maybe like some period of like a year or two, and then she like they went to like the next year. But I think like permanently it was my dad.
Also, like you're like the first. You were born in Syria.
No,
Also, like you were the first one that was like born and raised here.
yeah.
And this guy, he said 5th generation Yemeni.
What's that mean?
Huh?
What's that mean?
What's that?
Generations.
Fifth generation.
That means like his great grandfather first came here.
Hey, he has the answer for that on the day judgment, not me. If that's the
Like I'm
case.
third generation.
Not me. أنا بريء من هذا.
3 generations of your family were born here?
Yeah, like my grandpa was born in Jalisco. He came over here, got deported. He came back, got deported again.
So that means
he
he's
met my
first
grandpa.
generation.
He's first generation. Because his parents, they weren't born here. They were born in Syria.
Oh, okay.
They migrated here.
So,
He was born here. And you were what?
I don't know, my grandparents were born here. Wait.
Where are you originally from?
My great-grandparents were born here.
Where are you originally from?
Well,
No, heck no.
Grandpa was from like, my grandpa was from Mexico. My great-grandpa was from.
I did not know that he had Mexican in him.
Yeah, my great-grandpa was from that place, Portugal. And then his wife was from England. And
You know what Portugal is in Arabic?
No.
Protocol. Protocol is an orange.
And my dad's side, my grandma's from Czechoslovakia, and my grandpa is from Russia. So a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah, same. My mom's side is from Mexico. My dad's side is like Greece, Ireland.
Someone got a
Italy,
joke today.
all that stuff.
Mm. And here I am, like what, 15 generation. I think my family came here in the 1600s, akhi. You know?
Really?
1692.
That was,
Yeah.
that's 1,000 years ago.
Huh?
That's almost 1,000 years
Not
ago.
1,000 years ago.
What happened?
he said the 1600s was like
I told you, stop skipping math class, dude.
I thought you were talking about generations.
It's almost 500 years, like, not even close to 500.
We're in like 2,400. We're in
That's
24.
Yeah, we're in
That's almost 1,000 years ago. America hasn't been America. Like, well, I mean, they came to America before America was America, but yeah, but I mean, America hasn't even been America for 1,000 years. So,
Okay.
Columbus hasn't.
well, Columbus never came to America in the first place. He went to Cuba. Yeah, he never stepped on mainland America, never. He went back, and then they sent the Spanish. Like the Spanish came back. All All right.
Native Americans?
Huh?
To where the Native Americans?
No, like the Spanish were the ones that landed in America. So, but not, I mean, not, but Christopher Columbus was not with them when they came back and landed on mainland America. He was in Cuba, in those areas. So no, he never, ever landed on mainland
He
America.
never came to America?
No.
Oh, why do they say he did?
And then on top of that, they say, oh, he discovered the Americas. No, he discovered the Caribbean.
Cuba?
Yeah, maybe Jamaica, maybe Cuba for sure.
So who did he give chickenpox?
Huh?
Who did he give chickenpox?
Oh, that was the other people that came over. The Europeans, when they started migrating over here, because they had just gone through the plague. So like a lot of that bacteria, they brought it with them. You know, and then that stuff happened because this side of the world had no interaction with Europe from that time. So yeah, they brought all that sickness with them. Yeah, so almost time. It's all under the blankets and the.
Yeah, that's what my grandma says.
Yeah.
So,
Trail of Tears.
No, the Trail of Tears, that's later. That's in the 1800s. That was when they, the forced migration of the Cherokee Indians.
Is that like Oregon Trail?
Oh, no.
No,
They
no,
moved
that's not
the Cherokee tribe, it went from North Carolina down to like northern Georgia and all the way over to Tennessee. So, because they were like the strongest Native American tribe at that time, and they just wanted to do away with them. And, well, they deserved it, honestly, because they were the ones, they were helping the American government against all the other Native American tribes. So the main fighting that was going on in Florida with the Creek Indians, the Muskogee Indians. So they were just lighting up the government. So what happened was, the government ended up, taking, to get rid of the Creek, because they had what they call the Red Sticks, the Red Stick Indians. They used to take these sticks and they used to beat them so bad that, until they killed them and the sticks turned red, right? So they used to call them the Red Stick Indians. This is like the name that the government gave for them. So Jacksonville, where I'm from, is Jacksonville. It's from who?
The Red State Indians?
No, it's from Andrew Jackson. And Andrew Jackson is the one who conquered that area. They ran the Seminole Indians down to the middle part of Florida, because the Seminole Indians and the Creek Indians, they were destroying the government. Like every time that they would send a whole army in, because it's all swampland, and they knew the swamp, so they'd be up in the trees and hiding. So they come in, they just wipe out the whole thing. So what did Mr. Andrew Jackson and Mr. Duval come up with? They said, well, here's what we're going to do. Round up all the kids and the children and let them know we're going to kill everybody. We're going to start killing their women and their children until they surrender. And that's what they did. And then once they surrendered, they gathered them all up, and then they sent them off to Oklahoma. So this was like what they call that forced migration.
That's why there's so many reservations so close.
And so that was the Creek Indians were the first to go, and the first batch of Creek Indians. And then you had the second batch of Creek Indians in Florida from Osceola. He fought against because he had sat down. He was like half British, half Native American. And he used to actually sit over the military base and watch them train. So when once he got to the point where he became like a leader amongst the Native Americans, he said, okay, I know how these people fight. Let's get them. And they got him, boy. They got him too. But again, they locked him up. They forced him, he had a choice of like surrendering himself or again, the people being taken out. So he ended up surrendering, and then they forced the rest. So when they went in, like the people that didn't want to go on that forced migration, they went down to Central Florida, and then they hid in the swamps. So that's what you see the Seminole Indians now today. They're in Central Florida, southern and Central Florida. They still exist there today. The other ones, the ones that didn't, they didn't make it to that area. They ended up again go to Oklahoma. So they took the Cherokee all throughout North Carolina, even though the Cherokee was supporting the American government the whole time. They were like the hypocrites of the Native Americans. They still, in the end, once they said, well, thank you very much. You've helped us get rid of all of the enemies. Now, let's get rid of you. And they took them and they put them on those, in the middle of winter. In the middle of winter, they put them on these carriages and sent them with no, he said, y'all got like whatever, like a few minutes. Grab whatever you can in your house and get on these carriages before they leave. And basically, you don't leave, you're going to get killed.
That's the Trail of Tears.
And that was the Trail of Tears, yeah. So most of the people, they died even just trying to get to Oklahoma. Yeah, so beautiful American history, man.
Colonization.
Manifest
Huh?
destiny.
ethnic cleansing.
Yeah.
That's what they call that, colonization.
No, that's I don't know. That's not colonization. The colonization was the taking over the land in the first place. See, because the thing about it was, is the Native Americans, they weren't fighting the people. Not in the East Coast. The East Coast Native Americans, they were like, come, welcome. We can share the land together. We can, we can work together. So, but see, a lot of the people, they didn't have any issues with the Native Americans, and on the East Coast. The Cherokees, they used to, live side by side with a lot of these people. There was no issues, but the government, they wanted them off because it just happened, a law wrote that wherever their land was, that's where most of the natural resources were. So and they can't take it because it's tribal land, so what do? Well, you got no tribe, you got no tribal land, do you? So get on those, and they're still doing that till today. Still doing it till today. Every time they find something on tribal land, they're like, well, y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta go. So, Allah Mustaan. Beautiful history, man.
Dealing with comments. But is looking for the mistakes of a Muslim man from the kaba'ir because of the hadith?
Yeah, no doubt. And you got the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever does this, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do this. So you got a punishment. You got a punishment in this dunya. So no doubt that's from the kaba'ir. Actually, if al-isbal, al-isbal is from the kaba'ir, which is, having your garment trail below your ankle. It's from the major sins. And what do you think about going around following up on suspicions of your Muslim brother? That's ola. We're talking about your clothing, actually. If that's from the kaba'ir, then of course anything that's going to destroy the brotherhood, of course.
Sniffing around.
Yeah, just following up and just having those suspicions in the first place. But then acting on it and actually trying to find him in the act. Like, I'm going to catch him. Actually, who put you in charge of people's lives like that? You know what I'm saying? So that's evil in the first place.
I have a feeling that's Abu Bakr. I have a feeling it sounds like this
The ice cream shop.
Well, he is a sharik in that. Alright, but that's funny.
So you're gonna ask a question?
Yeah, I was about to read it. If a woman's father treats her very well, does her future husband have to at least live up to that standard as a minimum? And is he obliged to, not from a financial perspective?
If he wants to have a happy marriage life, then he better. He better at least put out the effort to do that, because if she had a really good relationship with her father, and she really, if she had a good relationship with her father, like, you got it made. All you got to do is just to go into that marriage and do what? What brought you around these parts tonight, man? Like, if the girl has a good relationship with her father, you got it made, man. All you got to do is just go into the marriage and just keep that relationship up. You know what I'm saying? But if she had a bad relationship with her father, she hates her father, you're done, Akhi. You're going to have the worst marriage, because no matter what you do, she's not going to trust you. Like, let's say this, like, her father got married to a second wife, and, from her mother, and she's close to her mother, and then, and she hates her father for this, then what do you think she's going to be suspicious of you the whole time that you're married? That you're going to be looking for a second wife, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing this, right?
Rejection.
Huh?
Rejection.
Yeah.
Thinking on you.
Yeah, she's going to be suspicious of you every single time. So if you have a wife that has a good relationship with her father, all you got to do is just maintain that. Maintain that. Actually, and you got it. You're getting everything on a platter for you, man. The father took care of that for you. He formulated a good relationship with her. So alhamdulillah, she'll do whatever whatever you want. You just got to keep that relationship going.
What does the sunnah say about polygyny? Like, I know it's permissible, but is it like recommended, or is it just permissible?
No, it's mustahab, jiddan.
Mustahab.
Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started off with mathna. He didn't start off with one. And so Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, when he mentioned that, he said that, that a man, he marries 2, 3, or 4. He said a weak man marries 1. You know, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that as a form of weakness. That if you can't, okay, then just wahidatan amma malakat yamin. So then just take one. Fawahidatan amma malakat yamin. So then just take that one. That's it. That's a sign of weakness, according to Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. So no, I mean it's, yeah, man, if he has the means to marry 2 or 3 or 4, then he should do it. Yeah.
Didn't you say Sheikh Yahya has so much kids he doesn't even know their names?
It's like 30-something kids. I mean, we didn't even know who his sons were. And one time a kid came up to me with the Sheikh's ID. Said, I need you to translate this for me. I'm like, who are you? I'm like, that's the Sheikh's son. I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I don't even know who his sons are, man. You see, if you go to the Sheikh's house, you see all these kids running around. It's like, huh? You don't even know, like, they're all his children. You think some tribe came to visit him. There ain't no tribe, those are his sons.
It's a militia.
Yeah. 30-something children, actually. That's no joke.
Is it permissible to say phrases like, you're an angel to me?
That should be avoided. All of this type of stuff that you learn from here, that should be avoided. What does that mean anyways? You're an angel to me, right?
It means like you're someone very good to me. That's what it means.
Well, the angels don't have no relationship with you. How would you know what an angel is to you?
Oh, they're trying to say like you're like my guardian angel, something like that.
Well, that's
people should say.
Yeah, no, leave that stuff alone.
What's more correct? Oh, Hamid says, what's more correct, doing the hands or wiping over the top part of the hand for tayammum?
Man, go back and listen to the Dars from Sahih Bukhari today, man.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it in this morning's class. You didn't follow the class or what?
Me?
No, him.
I don't know.
Literally talked about that this morning. Did we upload that? I think I uploaded that class.
Shave. Abdul Malik said, Assalamu alaikum, chat. Like, subscribe, and shave. He meant to say
Shaving's haram, yeah. No, he's talking about he's talking about shave your armpits and your private areas.
Share, you would shave.
He said shave your armpits and your private areas. Yes. Not shave your beards.
Yeah. I just seen it right now.
Women shave your legs. Yes.
You have to do that at least every 40 days.
What?
Shave the armpits.
Oh, because you pointed at this.
Oh, no. I just know that's a habit.
Come with some evidence for that one, man.
There is no.
So everybody like, subscribe, and shave, man.
Because I was reading, because it went fast, and then I see the video, I was like, what?
We can do that with Abdul Malik, because Abdul Malik can handle it better than Muhammad Fatima. Yeah, Muhammad Fatima gets angry when we joke around. So
I just have to point it out when it's in. Hamid says, like, subscribe and share.
So is it permissible to line up your mustache and beard? To line up your mustache and beard?
the Prophet ﷺ says, "Wahful liha." Leave it. Don't touch it. You know, and for the sharab, he said, "Well, qusr sharab." Qusr, you know, like the trimming. But they ain't like lining it up and all this. I'm not. I'm talking about the way that these kuffar do it. You don't touch the beard at all. You know, nothing. No part of it. From here all the way down.
Abdul Malik said share.
The shaving part was funnier. Yes.
Because he put, after he said salam alaikum, he said like, subscribe, shave.
All that effort.
That's payback for what you said about the American generational thing.
What did you say about the American generational thing?
I have to go down.
Oh, you didn't read it, did you?
I forgot. I mean, I just passed by it. It was like 5 generations. Nah, you can't say Yemeni, something like that.
No, you're not Yemeni now. You're American.
Nah, I got nothing to do with that. I'm just
Every
saying.
time I talk about Yemen, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, because you point out the one thing
I was sitting there talking about al-Baladiyah. Yeah, you have that word in the where you, Jordan, right? What is al-Baladiyya in Jordan?
Baladi
Al-Baladiyya.
or Baladia, it's like the city or the city here, like the city they take care of stuff.
No, in Yemen, al-Baladiyya are the people that pick up the garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's like
all
the
the
city.
street.
Yeah, here it's different. Over there, Baladia is the one that cleans, that takes care of the
Yeah.
streets.
So when I was saying that to him, he's like, I said, man, you don't even know what a Baladiyya is. He's like, Baladiyya, it means it's from that country.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Baladiyya.
And that's even with the uncle. That's what they say in Jordan too.
You don't have Baladia in Yemen?
No, they have it, but he's not Yemeni.
Oh, he was born.
He was born 5 generations here.
No. That's cool. I am even.
He's a tourist in Yemen. When he goes to Yemen, he's a tourist. What's your passport? American. You don't even have a Yemeni passport. Stop it.
It's not my choice. Like, I got nothing to do with it. I'm not the one taking that sin. I have no blame for that.
You were born in Hanford?
That's not in Yemen.
But Hanford used to be Mexican territory. Get to say it's Mexican.
Yeah, you're Mexican. You're more Mexican than you are Yemeni. Yeah, tacos, no Alcida. What to do? He's more Syrian. Like, he's first generation.
I think I have the Syrian birth certificate. I don't have a passport because there's no embassy in the U.S. So.
And when you're a Yemeni and I lived in Yemen more than you, come on, man. No. That's probably what he's talking about.
How long did you live in Yemen, sir?
15 years.
MashaAllah, a long time. How long did it take you to learn Arabic?
Still learning. Learning until I die. Akhi. Arabic you're never going to be finished learning it anyway.
Yeah, but like until you spoke it.
I mean, just to be functional. He's like 8 months.
Oh, that's it?
I mean, because I stopped speaking English. I refused to speak English after once I was there for maybe 2 months, I refused. I said, nobody speaks to me in English. If you don't talk to me in Arabic, don't talk to me. So I will not speak to anybody in English for a period of I think 6 months straight. So from the 2nd month up until the 8th month. And then what happened was I was broke. I had no money. And I had to call back to the brother in Jacksonville that sends me money. He used to send me $100 here, $100 there. So I had to call him and let him know, hey man, I ain't got no money. I couldn't talk to him because I hadn't spoken English in 6 months. I didn't speak a word of English in 6 months. So I get on the phone and the Libyans have this phone center with a big satellite phone. The phone that if you talk on for 15 minutes, it starts to burn your ear. It's a big satellite phone because that's the only phones that we had out in the village. It's the Libyans that run the place. So I'm on the phone. I was like, yeah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. يا أخي أحتاج إليك أن ترسل إلي فلوس. And he's like, huh? Speak English. Like, يا أخي فلوس. And he's like, أخي. I'm like, yeah, أخي ترجم لي. I gave the phone to the Libyan brother. And I'm like, translate for me. And he's like, أخي أنا ما أعرف إنجليزي كلموا أنت. He threw the phone back at me. I was like, yeah, Dawood, man. Money. Salam alaikum. I couldn't get the words out, akhi. I couldn't, and I could, obviously it's my language. I understand it, but I could not say, can you please send money? I couldn't say it. I could not get the words out. 6 months, and that's my language. So, yeah, it was. Those brothers, the Libyans, were just laughing at me, like, man, what's wrong with you? I said, I don't stop speaking English, akhi. What to do? Yeah, but it worked though. It worked. If you want to learn Arabic, that's the way to do it.
Were you already married when you went to Yemen?
Nah.
You got married over there?
I got married the 7th year.
Oh, over there in Yemen?
Yeah, so the 7th year all the way to the last 8 years I was married in Yemen. And these knuckleheads came into my life.
How old were you when you moved to Yemen?
22. Yeah, 22. I think that year, just turned 22. I I sat there and waited my whole life to turn 21. I said, once I get to 21, I finally can buy alcohol legally. I turned 21 and started practicing Islam again. Right when I turned 21. You know, then I said, I gotta leave Jacksonville. Never got to benefit from being 21, huh? A long time. As soon as I turned 21, I started practicing.
You said again, were you practicing Islam
I was
before?
Muslim at 15 years old.
MashaAllah.
But I was a wishy-washy Muslim, like you hear in the khutbah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you become a Muslim?
Oh man, that's a whole story, man. You're gonna have to read the book when it comes out.
Or watch the YouTube video.
Or watch the YouTube video. That's faster.
I did watch it like a month or two.
Send them the link, inshallah.
You said, oh, is
It's like a 3-hour video, so enjoy it, man.
What's that?
it
What's the name of that video?
It's like amazing revert story. It's on. Is it on Sajid's channel or the Institute's channel?
So it's on Sajid's channel.
Sajid.
No, the Institute.
Sajid. What's his last name?
Lip and milk.
Oh, there we go. Incredible Muslim convert from Florida to 15 years in Yemen.
Still wish we had more time to prepare that video, but still, alhamdulillah. I was shocked. It was like, we literally just like, record, okay. And then like the reception of the people, like how they dealt with the video, I was shocked, actually. I was like, everybody like, that's a good, oh mashallah, that was the most beautiful story. What, actually? We didn't even like, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, didn't even have time to think of what I was gonna say. It was just like, okay, well, you know, it started off like this, and then this happened. Actually, we had like, you know, he tricked me, man. Sajid tricked me, didn't he? He said, let's just see, I'm gonna show you the program. I'm gonna show you the program. All right, let's just record it now. I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, nah, let's just record it now. Let's record it now.
It's entertaining.
Huh?
Good video.
Yeah, but there wasn't any, like I said, no preparation. If you really listen to the video, you could hear people coming in. You could hear people eating in the background. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because all we were doing was just like I said, it was just to see the program only. He was just showing me the program that he records on. I said, let's just go ahead and do it right now. We had, like, I think that day was Friday. So we had, I had given the khutbah, he gave the khutbah. And then we had a meeting with the board of directors in Orange Park. And that went horrible. So we were both like super angry. Sajid dropped me off at the apartment and he went home, and then that's when we ended up recording that video. And we're both just really, really angry. The situation of what happened in that meeting. So yeah, that's crazy, like how that video happened. Yes. Any questions?
Can a man visit a woman who's sick but isn't a mahram? I only know the opposite for that hadith.
Huh?
Can a man visit a non-mahram woman who's sick?
I'm trying to get used to reading.
If there's no, I mean, nah, you gotta bring some more tafsir for that. That question is too general, actually. I can't answer that.
إذا طبيب
Huh?
إذا هو طبيب
No, he's not saying tabib, like, because you got situations where, like, for example, you got a woman who's sick, right?
All of my nephews at the house.
And she doesn't have family
Come with me.
and somebody to fulfill her needs, and she needs somebody to bring her like water and stuff like that. And you can go and you know what I'm saying, situations like that. But you gotta be more specific, like, you know, just can I go visit a woman who's sick? I mean, in general, no. Let the women visit the women, the men visit the men. You know. She got a family that could take care of her, inshallah. But like I said, that's you know, there was a situation where like she had nobody to bring stuff to her. You go and you take the stuff to her and you leave. You don't sit with her. You don't hang out with her. You know, you take the stuff. But then the majority of people in America, they just can't do that. Actually, they can't do that because the thing about it is, I see in the West, because we're so accustomed to what having girls as friends growing up, right, in school and all this. So for us, the only way that we can stop fitna is to completely what? Segregate. You know, you can't sit there and tell a brother like, well, you know, if you do this, you know, like for example, if she's in need, you take water to her and leave and don't say anything to her. He's not going to be able to do that. He's not going to be able to do that because he grew up, most of the people that he hung around with was girls. So nah, man, it's just like for that, no, it's just too much fitna that comes about to this because people just don't have no self-control, man. People have no self-control. You're dealing with like right now in a society where it's like if you smile at a woman, she smiles at you. 9 months later, she's having your baby. Akhi, come on, man. I mean, what type? This is the sickness of the society. And I mean, all you have to do is say something nice to her, and like next thing you know, 9 months later, boom, hey, you're a daddy. It's like you're not even married. You barely even knew the girl. So along the next thing you know, you're on a talk show getting a DNA test or something. So it's crazy, man. This is like the only way that we can avoid the fitna now is you just have to separate. There's no self-control, man. There's no self-control. Like 99.9% of the Muslims and the Muslims in America, the Muslims, if I had a daughter, I would not let my daughter come near them. Not near them. Even if she was 5 years old, actually, I wouldn't trust the 99.9% of the Muslims around. Because the hearts, actually, the hearts are so sick, actually. No. I said the majority of people, they just can't handle it. They can't. There's no self-control. No self-control.
Who you talking about, Ustad? You would trust your 5-year-old daughter with who?
99.9% of the Muslims in America.
Muslims.
I'm saying the kuffar, 100%. 101%. I would not trust a female in my family around a kafir. But I'm saying amongst the Muslims, because of this lack of self-control of the majority of the Muslims, I wouldn't trust, like, and even that little 0.1%, I still have binoculars. Still be watching.
Goes back to what you said earlier about the corruption. When family comes here, more the generations move on to get corrupted more.
Well, the thing is too is that you're dealing with Muslims that enjoy being in this corruption. They have no intentions of leaving. So the vast majority, we're talking about like more than 90% of the Muslims right now, even if they had the opportunity to leave this country and go live in a Muslim country, they will not leave. They do not want to leave this country. They love it here. Nah, akhi wallah, you give me a plane ticket right now, I'm gone. You will never see me again. And you don't even have to tell me the country you're sending me to. Just say it's a Muslim country. I don't care. I'll go anywhere, I'll go out, like, seriously, man. I'll go out in Indonesia, out in the middle of the jungle, man, and hang out with lions and tigers and bears, akhi. And I'll never come back to this country ever again. Ever. Seriously, I have no intentions of staying here. None. And I tell my kids that all the time. I say, man, it's about time to get on a plane and go. This is getting too much. It's getting too much, actually. I said, this place kills your heart. Kills your heart. But now you're living with like 90+% of the Muslims have no intention of ever living in a Muslim country. Never leaving this country. They love it here. You love being in this society. You love being in this type of corruption. Akhi, that means there's something wrong with the heart, akhi. And even from an economic perspective, akhi, we're like stupid to be here.
Yeah.
Look how much you get taxed. Look how much you pay on taxes on your land, your car, and all that. I go buy a house overseas, go to Gambia, go to Indonesia, buy land, buy a house. I never pay taxes on nothing. Nothing.
That's these countries stuff. But like for me, okay, I've been here since '97. Like in the last 6-7 years, I used to go every 4 months to Jordan because my kids and my wife were there. And 2 years ago, I had to stay there for like 8 months, okay, because I opened a business. I opened like a medical thing for my nephew. He's a doctor. I was partners with him, me and my brother and one of my partners here. And I stayed there for 8 months. Within those 8 months, I realized that I couldn't live there. I can't live in that country.
Jordan's a hard country to live in.
Talking about taxes is way higher than here.
No, but Jordan's because the economy in Jordan is so expensive to live there.
It
anyway.
is.
Yeah.
What I used to get here every month, okay, wallahi, I would save at least $2,000-3,000. Alhamdulillah, when my kids were there. Because I used to send my kids like, $1,000-1,500 a month, and they live with it. My wife, she cooks, and they don't need anything. They'll go to the store like with nus dinar, which is like 75 cents. They'll buy whatever they want, like candy or whatever. Then when I was there with my kids, and I wanted to take them out, like here, to a restaurant or or we go eat out, or we go travel somewhere or something, wallahi, my money would not even last me. Like, by the 20th or 25th of the month, I'm broke. I don't have no money. I'm asking my brother here, Muhammad, send me some money, man.
Because Jordan is expensive, man. But if
Expensive stuff, and it's not like what you think, like it's a Muslim country, Yeah, it is a Muslim
No, I'm
country.
saying, I lived
There's
in
a lot of bad things over there.
I lived in Yemen for 15 years. Actually, I never had financial issues, never. And I did when I was living in the village. But when I was in the city, because everything was so cheap. Rent was so cheap. I rented out, like, my bedroom in my last house that I rented in Yemen. Like, my bedroom alone was like, if you go from this window to that window, and maybe, you see where that chair is? That was the bedroom.
How much are you?
No, I'm saying that's just the bedroom. That was one bedroom. It was maybe a little bit smaller than that. You remember that last house, right? You guys used to play. You were small though. You remember the last house? That was when Essa was born. They used to go up and just sit there and like play like volleyball type thing in the room, because you know how much I paid for that house. Now that was one bedroom. We had a Masjid, kitchen, a big little area, and then and another bedroom. So we had what? Let me see, 2 bedrooms. I think it was 2 bedrooms. Yeah, 2 bedrooms. We paid $150 a month. $150 a month. 2 bathrooms. We had one of those jacuzzi bathtubs, which really came in handy, because when the war started, we used to have to go out and fill up the buckets and take the buckets up, and we fill up the bathtub to keep the water in the bathtub. So we clogged the put the stopper in the bathtub, and we would dump the water into the bathtub and use that in the bathroom. So we used to had to fill up that bathtub just to use the water, because there was no electricity. So we had to go out and get the water by hand.
Running water.
There's no electricity.
You have to have electricity to run water.
Yeah, you got it, because it's got a pump. The pump, and overseas, like in Yemen, they have these khizans, right? Which is like water tanks, but they're on top of the house. So it's got, like, the water has to get up to the top of the house. So how you gonna get it up there without you gotta run the pump. And when they turn the electricity on, it's like once a week for 20 minutes. And the electricity was too weak to run the water up. So we just forget it, man. I used to go out there and just MP3, listen to a book or listen to the Quran, sit there for like 2 hours, just throw a bucket in, pull the bucket out, fill up these buckets, take the buckets upstairs, dump it into the bathtub, because like I said, it's a big bathtub. Yeah, man, we paid $150 for that.
طلقت الحمام وانا تعلقت في الحمام
ها؟
وانا تعلقت في الحمام
What?
وانا تعلقت في الحمام مرة
أنت إيش؟
Got
تعلقت
stuck in the bathroom.
ها؟
انا كنت في العمل اظن
أنا ما أعرف.
انا كنت جديد في البيت انا كنت استعمل الحمام كنت بس قفلت الباب وأنا كنت أحاول أفتح ما يفتح بدأ أبكي.
I didn't know about it. Maybe, I'm not gonna remember all that stuff that was going on those days. Cause like literally, when this was in the wintertime, and it was cold. Like you see how it is here, it was like colder than this in the morning. And we had to scoop the water out of that bathtub, put it into a bucket, and take a shower with it, without heating it up, because there's no gas. The gas that we have, we can't use it to heat up water. Yeah, boy, that water was cold. But none of us ever got sick. That whole time, and that's when I was like, even when I went to Saudi, I was like, man, let's keep taking these cold showers. Because that whole time, nobody got sick. Nobody. You would think the opposite, right? We're taking freezing cold showers and freezing cold weather, war going on, all this stress, but nah.
Well, they say cold showers are actually good for you.
Yeah.
And you see people do this ice baths where they go in the thing of ice water.
Yeah, it brings your nerves to life. You feel it, cause the first time when you pour it, it takes your breath away. Like literally, like you're like this, like you can't breathe because it's so cold. But then after like 4 or 5 scoops, man, I'll be like, I done knocked out half the water in the bathtub. I'm like, this feels good, man. This, cause we had to scoop it, Half the water's gone, man, cause I can't stop pouring it on my head, cause it feels so good once you get used to it. But the nerves come to life when you do that.
You feel alive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why when I had energy those days. Energy, never got sick.
So, like in that house, do they have like normal toilets or the ones in the ground?
We had both.
Both of them.
One like French and French toilet and the ground toilet. Yeah, no, I mean in the original houses we only had the ground toilets. In the older Yemeni houses, yeah, this was a newer house. So, yeah, $150 actually. I had a friend, he had a villa, a whole villa. Upstairs, downstairs, huge villa, 50,000 riyals. It's like less than $250 a month.
What year is this one?
Huh?
What year is this one?
That was before the war. Like now, man, now it's gonna be very expensive. Once that war started, everything started getting super expensive. Very expensive. Even the water, it went up to like 10,000 riyals. It was like 1,500 riyals to fill up a whole tank of water. 1,500 riyals is, huh?
How much is in the tank, like a gallon?
Like 1,500 riyals, it costs like, what is that? $7? $7, man, to fill up the whole tank. The whole water tank. You know, like the water trucks, they come with the water trucks. We didn't have water from the government.
That's still cheap.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that was cheap, but then it went up to 10,000 during the war. You know, so it would jump from 1,500 to 10,000. So even with that water, we had to like, you know, everybody was taking a shower like once every 3-4 days, you know, because we couldn't use the water like that, you know. Couldn't use the gas, we couldn't use the water. I almost had to kick my wife's mother out the house. She kept heating up, like, she was the only one, she kept heating up the water for the bath. I'm like, man, you better tell your mother, man, she's going to have to take a bath like everybody else, man. You know, my mother can't do that, my mother can't do that. I was like, man, we ain't got no gas. And she ain't going to go out and get the gas, man. But I was like, let her do what she's going to do, you know. But she felt it, and she ended up leaving. But, you know, yeah, man, I almost kicked her out, man. I was like, she got to go, man, because you can't keep doing this, man. You got to go searching for gas for like hours, actually.
Gasoline or gas,
Like the dubbas, you know, yeah. Like you basically, like you hear, like in Yemen, they go around with these little. During the war, like once the war started, they had changed from like they started driving them around in tuk-tuks. You know the tuk-tuk.
Is that what they grab like the?
No, but this is an electric tuk-tuk.
Oh yeah, it's like a little.
Yeah, so they have all the gas canisters on the back, and they drive, and you just see me, I'm gone. Like I hear they hit on the container, so they let you know that they're in the neighborhood, and you just see me run out, trying to find the guy, and the next thing you know, I come up on the house, I'm hanging onto the tuk-tuk, right, with the, you know, pulling out the gas canisters. Yeah, but even the gas at that time is expensive. That was no joke, man. I'll take living in that time over this any day. Any day. I'll exchange that right now for this. I did not want to leave, man, but man, women can be nagging actually. We gotta go. Yeah, the son's gonna die. You know, we can't get him this, we can't get him that. Man, please, man, I wish a long time. I little like myself out. Huh?
So, I'm training to be a welder right now. What would, countries would you recommend for hijra?
Nowadays, you got Malaysia, you got Indonesia. Indonesia is good people, man. They're really, really good people.
Is there Salafis there?
Yeah.
Take knowledge from?
There's brothers that study with us in Damascus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you go there and learn?
Yeah. Indonesia is a good country to learn from and learn it. They got brothers there that really study. And I mean, they have some of the top, back in the days, they had some of the top Quran competitors, you know, that used to compete in these competitions. They got some of the top people that recite, believe it or not. You know, even though they have trouble with a lot of the huruf when they speak Arabic. Because I remember, like, the first time I had a neighbor from Indonesia, he's like, Anta tadrus usul salasa. I'm like, what? Usul salasa? Huh? You know, I like make him say it like 3 or 4 times. Usul salasa. I was like, you talking about usul al-thalatha? Because they can't, you know, it's salasa. Yeah, you know, hadith, you know. Like when they used to stand up, even with the sheikh, it's like hadassana, you know, when they were reciting the hadith from Bukhari. But boy, when they recite the Quran, whoo, You had some of the two brothers, Abu Turab and Abu Hazm. They had the most beautiful voices I've ever heard in my life, I think. You know, I posted their adhans on my channel. If you go to,
Because I remember I saw it when I was like first like searching about it.
Abu Hazm was the first, he called the adhan. That was in my 3rd year in Damaj. It was in Ramadan. We were going home to eat suhoor. That night that he called the adhan for the first time was a kasuf. So there was an eclipse. And the eclipse it started right close to suhoor, maybe within an hour or so. So when we went to go pray the kusuf, the sheikh read the first juz of Baqarah in the first rak'ah, you know. And then we're like, oh no, man, we're not eating today. Actually, like, there's no suhoor today. So he finished the first juz, then he finished the second juz in the second rak'ah. And each rak'ah he knew like the time, like, okay, I gotta finish this up. So then, I don't know, I think we finished like Surah Al-Baqarah and some of like Surah Al-Imran in the kusuf, just in that kusuf alone. And then we left, and we going back to get the suhoor. And I remember, because at that time, I actually had a house in Damaj. I didn't have a room, I had a house, because I was trying to get married. So I went and bought a house. I bought a house for like $1,000, I think it was. I had a whole house for $1,000.
Fully bought it.
Yeah, it's a whole house. It was made out of mud. It's a mud house, adobe house. But it's a house, actually. It's still a house. It's better than living in a room. So I went back in to go eat, and the next thing you know, the brother started calling the adhan. Everybody, I kid you not, man. We all just came out of our houses. Everybody. We stood out in the tariq and said, SubhanAllah, who's calling the adhan, akhi? They said the malaika. That's what the brother told me, my neighbor. He said, the malaika to adhan al-yum. You know, and that was it. You know, we didn't know who it was. We didn't know Abu Hazm was the one calling it. And then Abu Turab called the second adhan. I'm like, what's going on, akhi? This is crazy. From there on, they just became the muadhineen, you know.
He's Indonesian.
Yeah, Indonesian brothers.
So where's the best place in Indonesia?
Wherever those brothers are. If you meet Salafis in Indonesia, they're going to know who they are. Abu Hazm, akhi, is probably he has the best character of anybody I've ever met in my whole entire life. You know, all the stuff that we read about the Prophet, about how he smiled with the people and how he was soft with the people, that's him. Assuming he hasn't changed over the years, you know, because stupid people can make you change a little bit. But you know, when you get responsible, when you're just studying, you don't really have a lot of responsibility. So that's his natural character. It's just cool. He's just the nicest person. When I met Abu Hazm, I said, man, like, when I get the chance, I'm going to Indonesia, man. If they have two people like him, that's where I want to die. Yeah, I'll go there, I'll get married, I'll buy land, and I'll live in Indonesia. I'll fish for a living. I don't care. If they got two people like him in the country, that's worth going there for.
In Indonesia, I think there's only like one province or town, or whatever you call it.
Jakarta.
It's called like ACEH.
Aceh.
Yeah, it has.
Banda Aceh, that's way up.
It's the only place.
That's way up at the tip. Like, if you go, like, all the way to if you were coming on a plane towards Indonesia, that'd be the first place that's where the tsunami hit. That was one of the areas that was affected most by the tsunami.
It's the only place that I think does Sharia law.
Nah, that's
not true?
no. I'm saying that's just that's a group of people that do that.
Oh, okay.
But we're talking about the people, the students of knowledge, now they're in Jawa, what they call Java. But if you notice, our Indonesian friend always spells it with Jawa. Yeah, that's how it's pronounced.
What's that?
That's the island.
It's good to go there?
That's where all the brothers are. They're all on that island.
What's it called?
Banda Aceh is on a different island. It's on
What's it called?
Jawa. But they call it Java in English. That's why they call it Java coffee.
Java juice.
Really?
Yeah.
Java bean?
They grow coffee in Indonesia. They sell it all over the place. Sumatra. Sumatra coffee is from. The brother that I'm close to is from Banda Aceh.
That's where he's from?
Well, it's a brother, he keeps telling me, come to Indonesia, man. I got you, don't worry. He come here, he's got his family owns restaurants there and everything. So, yeah. Any questions? before I get on the plane and leave. Y'all making me not want to be in the. You better start making me want to be here.
This is Indonesia right here. All this.
But driving safe says getting pre-orders for something permissible.
What would make it impermissible? Because the whole point about the pre-order is that, I mean, there's not something that they're not possessing. And what you're buying is something that they possess, but the thing is that they want to, you want to get it before it runs out, because they're only going to have a limited supply of that thing, right? So there's only so many books that can be printed, or so many shirts, or whatever it is that they're coming out with. So I don't know anything that would make that impermissible on all these lists, because it's something that they possess, they have it. They just haven't put it out on the market at that time, so they want to see who's going to order it first. But as far as purchasing something from somebody that they don't actually possess, then that's not permissible.
There's been robberies in my neighborhood, and I live with my brother and mother. Is it permissible for one of us to go to the Masjid for Fajr while the other stays at home with the mother? We have a family living upstairs, but I don't hear them awake at Fajr.
Well, what's like? Well, you think that you could protect your family better than Allah would? Are the robberies in the houses, or the robberies out on the street?
In the neighborhood.
We got killings and robberies in my neighborhood every single night. We go to the Fajr. Me and my son, whoever's up, goes. Whoever's not up, we kick him, throw water in his face and tell him get up, and we leave without him. And not because of the robberies, but because he's slowing us down. Right? He's laughing because he's the one who's in charge of kicking and throwing in the water in the face. We actually have a squirt gun. He shoot water right in his face. Boy, you don't get up. Yeah. I don't know, like, why would that keep you from going to the masjid? I don't know, like, where one person has to go and one person has to sit.
Some women, when they are having a child or getting married, they have gift registry. Is this permissible?
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
They have what?
Gift registry. What is it? You register a gift? Never heard of that before in my life.
Selling books, when there's a group chat to do it for Tulab Ilm, is it good or bad?
What, selling books? The person selling his books is bad. The person buying the books that he's selling is good. I don't know what the question is. I mean, it happens, Akhi. You're in need. I've had to sell my library to feed either myself or my family on more than occasion. So I've lost my library at least like 5 or 6 times. When we left, when we were like during the war, I had to sell my whole library, all the books. I had all the good books, man. Tafsir ibn Jarir, I had Adab al-Bayan, I had all these books. I had Tafsir al-Qurtubi. I had to sell them all because my family had to eat. It happens. That's bad, but I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Family starve or the books? And books can be replaced, family can't be replaced. So. According to Yemenis, family can be replaced. And I'll just go and make another one of you. Now that never got said to you?
It did, and that's what caused a lot of problems.
Okay, so you were told this before, right?
Many times.
It's a common thing. We used to joke about that all the time, man.
It wasn't joking.
Huh?
It wasn't joking.
No, because they leave the kids just running around out in the streets. So they don't care if the kid gets hit by a car. He's gonna have another. His wife gonna be pregnant in 2 days anyway. Replacing that kid already. Almost done. Go what?
He was moving. I thought he had a question. Yeah, he does.
No, he's just playing with some. He's taking on the behavior of his cat. The cat just takes everything and starts playing with it, so he's starting to do the same thing. You have a question?
So, as a welder, if I make hit, I'll be able to find work. Do you think so?
I mean, yeah, because that's like But the only way that you're gonna really make money is like you starting your own business. If you're working for other people overseas, oh nah, you're gonna be a slave, akhi. You're not gonna get paid. But if you go over there and start your own business, like, I mean, you look at the brother Hamza, right? You know Hamza, the brother with the coffee shop.
Yeah, one that sits here.
Yeah, right here for Juma.
Yeah,
You know his story about how he started the coffee shop?
No.
He was in Jordan, right? And he couldn't find like the roasted beans like what he knew in America. So he bought a little roaster and he started roasting his own beans. And he perfected it so much that like there were Americans and stuff and Westerners that lived around him. So he started bagging it up and selling it to them. You know, so when he came to America, he came back to America, he brought his roaster with him. And he continued to do that until eventually he got the money to buy a bigger roaster. And now he's got his own coffee shop. So you'd have to do stuff like that, you know, start doing like small little jobs and selling stuff to people, you know, doing like little jobs for people until you can start your own actual business. You have the money and then that's it. Once you have your own business and then you start getting people working for you, yeah, it's a lot.
Get my own welding machine, just go around town.
Especially if you're doing a good job. Because everything overseas, and he'll attest for this, it's all about your reputation. If the people say, oh, mashallah, he does good, and it's like word of mouth, khalas, you'll have business until the day of judgment, inshallah. But if you have a bad reputation, you know, reputation for doing like bad work, yeah, you finished. You're going to have to move to another country. Yeah.
That's why they say in Amman, you know, they say, "Atla sitaq wanam." It means get your name out there and go to sleep.
And go to sleep, because everything's going to take care of itself. Yeah. Yeah, because once they know you, that's it. That's it. It's over. It's weird, you know, but you'll see like all the, you know, like the Saudis used to, like, I remember when I lived in Saudi, like, oh, go to this one restaurant. Why? I could never figure out. Why? Like, just like, I'm not talking about Al-Bake, because everybody goes to Al-Bake. But I'm talking about those actual Saudi restaurants with the Saudi food. And they're like, oh, you gotta try this, you gotta try this. And I go and try it, and I'm like, and they're like, how's it? You know, y'all love it, you know what I'm saying? But for us, it was like, you know, it wasn't like great food. But it's just because the reputation is Saudi, like for them, it was a representation of them being Saudi. They have to eat at this restaurant. And khalas, that restaurant's guy that owns that is a millionaire, you know, billionaire probably. I won't say billionaire, but multi-millionaire. Because of how much, you know, business he gets in the restaurant stuff. Just because of that, because the people, it becomes like a cool thing to do. If you have a good reputation overseas, you start your own business, you're good.
I like Al-Bake.
You're good. Huh?
I like Al-Bake. It's pretty good.
Don't, let's not even talk about that. This is not the conversation for today. I said we're trying to talk about things that can keep us in this country. No, man. You had Al-Bake before.
What?
Al-Bake. In Sardinia. Al-Bake, you know the chicken.
I never been to Saudi.
You never been to Saudi?
خمسة قافية
It's time for you to take a vacation, أخي.
خمسة قافية
Huh?
حمزة قال إنه في بيك في الأردن.
They say, Hamza said they got it in Jordan now. Look it up, Al-Bake in Jordan.
Big?
Al-Bake.
Oh, big. The boss.
No, man.
Big.
Come on, the people in the chat gonna know what this
Alif,
is.
Lam, Ba, Ya, Kaf.
Yeah, but, yeah.
Big.
Yeah, Al-Bake.
Yeah, that's a word that they used to say for somebody who's high status, like bake. That's what they say in Jordan, bake. Yeah, bake.
They spell it bake,
Alif, Lam.
B-A-I-K, and then they write it out in English. All right.
How do they spell it in English?
In English, because they always write it out in English.
Yeah. B-A-I-K.
B-A-I-K. Al-Bake. In Jordan, they have it in Amman. XWVG plus 93H Street. I don't know what that is. you know the streets overseas.
Yeah, but probably my son Hamza, he had it.
It's here, right here. I'll tell you where it's at. By the way, and when you go overseas, forget the street names.
Oh yeah.
Nobody cares about a street name.
Really?
You better memorize the hospital, the bank,
Yeah.
The stuff, you know, like,
Coffee shop or restaurant.
Yeah.
Just what's by it, landmarks.
Yeah.
because everybody's there's gonna be like 10 different names for one street. I think just forget it. There's no point. You know, you need to know
Gotta use a compass.
no, you need to know like just the main things in that area.
Or just use Google.
Yeah.
And you don't really need a car as much, do you?
Huh?
You don't need a car as much, do you? It's like here.
So this is بعد الجوازات أخي.
Oh. Yeah. طبعا.
I'm trying to see like what the closest thing is to it. It says Shara Shahid. It says right here, let me see this. دائرة الأحوال المدنية والجوازات. It's right like across the street from it like that.
Yeah.
So there's a bake right there.
Yeah, I know. I know what it is.
Yeah, it's right there. Now next time you go back to Jordan, now you know where to go,
You
man.
know, like when I go back to Jordan instead, I just go back to the stuff that I used to like when I was a kid.
Mansaf.
Yeah, I don't look. That stuff, you know, I never. Like I ate mince maybe once or twice. Ever,
What?
Ever outside the house.
Oh yeah, outside the house,
I mean,
yeah.
like, my wife
Hey, you
cooks.
don't eat
My mom
Mansaf
used to
outside
cook.
the house. It's not that good.
Yeah, I mean.
Mansaf has to be cooked with love, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is that?
And you gotta have the right ingredients, like lahem, the right lemon.
Don't it's go ahead, tell them what it is.
And stuff means explosion.
Explosion?
Well, that's what's gonna happen to your stomach after you eat it. But
You
yeah,
gotta go to sleep after you eat.
yeah, you're gonna be super heavy, super heavy. It's like meat and rice, and then they have this
Yogurt.
yeah, it's like this dried milk thing that they have. It's like a rock, and then they crush it up. I guess. How do you mix it up?
Yeah, dry yogurt.
Mm.
Yeah, you just mash it,
It's bitter.
put it with water, and you kind of put like to make it heavier. You use lemon shanina here. It's called lemon shanina. You know, we use that with it.
To thicken it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it's a bitter, but it's a
bottom.
good bitter. It's like
We talked about it
This
before.
right here.
oh, Mansaf is good. Akhi.
Yeah,
Like
bread on the
mine.
bottom, rice, and then the meat, almonds.
Almonds?
Yeah, almonds and
One of the last foods I had before I left Saudi
mansaf.
was mansaf. Because I had Jordanians that, like my neighbors, and they're like, before you leave, you have to come to my house. This is in Ramadan. So you come into my house and we have mansaf. I was like, yeah, man. Oh,
I
yeah.
had my neighbors try it here. You were talking about neighbors earlier. I was watching.
And what did they say?
They didn't say anything. So, you know, what's strange is, like, what's funny is, you know, my wife, she would cook, and she would give me like a dish, okay? Take this, neighbor, take it to the one across the street from me, I'll take it to the one next to me. But you know, like in Amman or in Jordan, you know, the habit or the thing is, when you will give somebody like a dish of food, you know, they're supposed to bring you that dish back
Yeah.
with other food.
With food on
different
it.
kind of food. Or,
Oh, they're not gonna do that in America.
yeah, they don't do that. And
You be
I was
like-
surprised, I didn't know that.
You'd be lucky if they washed it for you.
They didn't even give it back to you.
Oh, he didn't even give it back to
No,
you.
no, they didn't give it back to
They
me.
thought the dish was
None of
free.
them, you know.
The dish was part of the food.
My
huh?
wife goes, I'm not giving nobody. You know how women with their silverware.
Yeah, you gotta bring
Well,
the
now,
food.
like, we started giving them like a plastic dish. So.
Man, you eat mansaf, when it's finished, you start eating your fingertips. It's so good, man.
It's really good, especially
You had it, yeah. Where did you have it?
My house.
The Syrians eat mansaf?
Yeah.
Well, you're like saying like this is common knowledge, Akhi. I didn't know this. Did you know that? They eat mansaf in Syria.
Well, you know, I know.
I
I
know.
went to Syria and I had their food. Yeah. So
I've had neighbors from Syria. They never brought us no mansaf. They're always like, you know, orak or Ainab and stuff like that. But
It's probably the ones they live on the borders of Jordan.
yeah.
Yeah, because they get married from each other and they have the same kind of food.
Yeah, that's where you're special.
I'm not.
Where are you from?
I'm from like the north. You know, Adab?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're like
It's
Turkish.
like from the north, yeah. It's like almost it's like closer to the Turkish border.
On the
Yeah,
other side.
yeah. He used to like closer to Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eat mansaf? Wow, I did not know that. I did not know that. This is your homework before we go. They're probably sitting there like, man, come on, what are y'all doing? This is like a round table discussion. This is turning into a podcast. This ain't like the whole darts went out the window 2 hours ago. Yeah. Oh, what's up?
Where can I get that stuff?
At his house.
Inshallah, when it's his.
You have to eat this at somebody's house.
He said that he has Hamza. What is that walima you having?
December 1st.
No, he's talking about your celebration for the apartment. I think he's talking about.
Oh, you said Walima.
No,
Did you
but
say you were gonna
you
cook over
posted what you posted. You said that you're gonna
You
have
called me
some.
last week. You said you were gonna cook over here, and I'm invited, and you don't know when is it.
Oh, like maybe.
I told you I'm gonna have my wife cook something.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, that's on.
I don't want to put you on the spot, man.
No, I do. It's like next.
If you don't want to do it, that's
No,
fine.
I do. It's not. Not next Friday. Maybe like 4 days after I move in. Sure.
Also, inshallah, when he does that, or before he does that, I'm gonna have my wife cook some nice stuff for you. Inshallah. I mean, we gotta be not dinner, you know. It gotta be like not.
You gotta eat it early.
You gotta eat early, man. You
Like
gotta eat
lunchtime.
around 12.
Actually, if you eat that stuff before you go to bed at night, you probably die. Actually, seriously.
Yeah.
Hey, serious. I don't think you wake up.
You won't be able to.
It's very heavy. And you can't stop eating it because it's all meat and rice and that Lebanon stuff, right? That dried
Lemon
yogurt.
jameen.
Huh?
Lemon
Jameen.
jameen.
Yeah. Actually, you trust me. There's no class that night. Absolutely no.
We get our lemon jameen, you know, every time one of my brothers goes to Jordan, I have him bring me some of the lemon jameen. It's from a city called Karak, Jordan. That's the original lemon jameen. Like anywhere in the whole world, you know. And it tastes really good. But it's very
Yeah, if you don't have that right, then you don't have the Munsaf right. So if he's got the original,
yeah, the original one is like
it's a rock. Actually. It's like and then you're gonna enjoy yourself. But you're gonna go to sleep, maybe a coma. You might be in a coma for 3 days. Any questions? We done forgot the chat. We forgot we're even on live stream, man. Allah musta'an. That's how I can.
Hamid says, give me advice. I have a hard time trying to read Juz Amma because I feel like I already know it, so I don't do it.
Eat some stuff first and then pick up. Look, man, everything that you do in this deen is all gonna be discipline. You know, it's we talked about this before. The memorization part is the easy part. That's the fun part. That's the mughamara, right? You know, you're off on an adventure when you're memorizing. But it's now when you memorize and you have to keep reading over and over and over and over again. That is when you know, there's just gonna be days you want to read, and a lot of days that you don't. You just want to be lazy and be like, hey, you know what? I just don't feel like doing it today. Those days that you want to be lazy are going to be a lot more than the days that you want to do it, but you're just going to have to do it. Okay, that's the bottom line. And you know, if you look at any person, any two people, like whether it's in academics, whether it's athletics, whatever it is, the person who doesn't allow himself to take that day off, compared to the person who lets himself take those days off, that's, you know, the comparison of the person who becomes like a professional athlete and a person who works at McDonald's. You understand? And saying, oh, I used to be. You know those guys, right? They live in their past because he wasn't ready to put in the work. And it's the same thing with academics. The thing that's going to make a Sheikh min Baz, rahimahullah, and a person who just like some standard run-of-the-mill student of knowledge is barely getting by, is his ability to make himself do that every single day. And he's got these things that he does every day. And he forces himself, you know, because you got to keep in mind, what did the Prophet ﷺ say? He said, حُجِبَتِ الْجَنَّةُ حُجِبَتِ النَّارُ بِالشَّهَوَاتِ وَحُجِبَتِ الْجَنَّةُ بِالْمَكَارِهِ. So he said that there's a partition around the hellfire. It's been, you know, for you to go into the hellfire, you have to break through that partition. And that partition is of desires, things that you desire. That's the easy things. That's the let yourself go. No self-control. That's easy, right? Get to Jahannam, easy. Easy. Just do whatever's in yourself, just do it. You go to Jahannam. Very easy way to do that. But حُجِبَتِ الْجَنَّةُ بِالْمَكَارِهِ. Things that you dislike, things that are hard, things that are difficult on the nafs. Getting up in Fajr, at 4 something in the morning and it's 40 degrees outside, and getting up and making wudu and going to the masjid. It's something that is difficult for the nafs, but you get up and you do it. In the days that you're lazy, or the days that you just didn't get a good night's sleep, but I have to read this amount of Quran every single day after Fajr, and you make yourself do it. And that's the separation. That's what's going to separate, the people who's going to really be successful and who's just going to, just barely barely skeet by. He's not gonna really do anything major in the religion. The imams, when you look at the people from the past, those are the people they never allowed their nafs, like I say so. So along this line, you just have to do it. You have to do it until you love it. And that's it. Once it becomes a part of your life, then you couldn't imagine your life without that thing. It might be difficult in the beginning, right? But then, 3 months, about 90 days, 120 days of just doing that every single day. Then the day that you don't do it, because maybe it's not that you're not lazy, but, maybe you're just you're really, really sick that day. You feel guilty. You feel like, oh my God, a part of my life is missing, because you didn't do that thing. So you just have to keep pushing yourself and pushing yourself. Anything else? We got to give them something before we leave, because we neglected them for an hour. We went on podcast mode, Got everybody looking up on Google mun stuff, Everybody's over there trying to find this food and what it looks like and how to get it now.
Is it permissible for one to pour water on someone's face to wake them up and pray?
And the Prophet ﷺ said that. In the hadith about waking up his family. He said that, I don't want to mess up the hadith. This is one of the hadiths I haven't memorized. Go find another question while I'm looking for the hadith, and no point in wasting time.
If someone's sinful, they stay in the U.S. to get training for certifications before actively trying for hijrah. Is this considered making preparation?
Say it again.
If someone's sinful, they stay in the U.S. to get training for certifications before actively trying for hijrah.
He's trying to get the intention to leave, right? You're sinful for staying here without the intention of leaving. Real intentions of leaving. I'm not talking about.
Inshallah one day. Inshallah one day.
Yeah, I think this is, let me see. So this is a hadith عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رحم الله رجلا قام من الليل فصلى وأيقظ امرأته فإن أبت نضح في وجهها الماء ورحم الله امرأة قامت من الليل فصلت وأيقظت زوجها فإن أبى نضح في وجهه الماء. So the translation of the hadith reported on the authority of Abu Hurairah, he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, may Allah have mercy on the man who stands up at night for prayer. He stands up to pray at night, فَصَلَّى, and he prayed. وَأَيْقَظَ إِمْرَأَتُهُ, and he wakes up his wife. فَإِنْ أَبَتْ, if she refuses to get up, نَضَحَ فِي وَجْهِهَا الْمَاء, he takes water and does that into her face until she gets up. And then he said, وَرَحِمَ اللَّهُ إِمْرَأَةً, and may Allah have mercy on the woman, قَامَتْ مِنَ اللَّيْلِ, the woman who stands up to pray at night, فَصَلَّتْ, and she prays, وَأَيْقَظَتْ زَوْجَهَا, and she wakes up her husband, فَإِنْ أَبَى, and if he refuses, نَضَحَتْ فِي وَجْهِهِ الْمَاء, and then she sprinkles water in his face to wake him up. So yes, it is very permissible. It's from the sunnah to do that. I don't know about the squirt gun, but just like, you just take some water in your hand and just do like that in the face of the person, It works, man.
But not dumping a whole cup.
That's what I do. I just another yeah, boy, my son wakes up, he thinks he done urinated on himself. He's like, so, you up now, get up. Any other questions?
Uh,
Last one, man. This is the last one. We're leaving.
A sister receives messages from young brothers who are seeking marriage. She's not interested in a younger brother herself. However, she understands their struggles and wonders if it would be permissible for her to share some channels that help Muslims find spouses, which help them in their search.
I already mentioned that, man. I said the majority of people, they don't have self-control, man. They can't. I would avoid contact. Especially like younger brothers, man. Younger brothers are stupid. No self-control nowadays, I feel. Seriously. No self-control. So, anything that's going to cause fitna, avoid it. Avoid it. Because you might send back something and you want good for the person. You're just trying to send like something to help him out. But then he responds, oh, thank you very much. Oh, I have a question. And the next thing you know what? All the doors of fitna start to open up now. It's better to avoid it. That's it. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك